Hello, hello. So today is our foundational principle, oxygenation. So my question for you is, did you know that the way you breathe affects your body's ability to handle stress, to process trauma, and even to relax? So today we're exploring how oxygenation and breath work fit into the stress continuum, helping you shift from a state of survival to a state of thriving. So let's look at oxygen and the stress continuum. Oxygenation plays a role in how our body responds to stress, trauma, and relaxation because as we move into the stress response, that's what I call the yellow zone fight or green zone flight, our breathing becomes shallow and rapid. Okay, this is just a natural response to stress that our body goes through. Then the body prepares for action. So it pumps the oxygen to our muscles, but it also limits deep, nourishing breaths because it's sending that where it needs to go. Over time, this can lead to fatigue. Ever run for a long time and then you're short of breath, right? This can also lead to anxiety and poor oxygen delivery to our brain and our heart and other organs. So, if we move into the trauma response, this is that freeze or that collapse. Breathing actually becomes restricted. We hold our breath, or it might even become irregular, where we take a few breaths in and then we hold our breath and then we let some breaths out and sigh. And this again is due to that deep stress and trauma response. What we find is that diaphragm tightens and the body conserves oxygen, leading to brain fog, low energy, and emotional suppression. Chronic shallow breathing keeps the nervous system stuck in this dysregulated state. Then we have the relaxation response, what we call rest and digest. And when we're in this state, we have deep, controlled breathing, what I like to call the Instacalm breath. And when this breath actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system, or when we're in a parasympathetic nervous system state, this is the type of breath that we have. So when we're in this type of breath work, right, we're shifting the body into repair, into digestion, and into healing. Oxygen delivery improves your circulation, detoxification, and mental clarity. So, if you have issues with any of those, think about how you are breathing. Breath work also helps rewire the nervous system from chronic stress and trauma to that more regulated state. So, there is a science between oxygenation and breath work. Oxygen actually fuels 90% of your body's energy. So, if you do not feel like you have energy, this might be a place to look, right? Without oxygen, you feel drained, you feel unfocused, and you'll feel tense. You'll feel that in your muscles. Again, the diaphragm is key because a tight diaphragm restricts your lung capacity. It impacts your circulation, it impacts your digestion, and it impacts your detoxification. So, remembering that oxygen is life's energy source, remembering what all it's fueling, how it's strengthening your immune system, and it helps your body actually transform food into energy. So if you feel like you're eating and you're still hungry, we have to ask the question, how's my oxygenation? If we are not eating very much, but we're continuing to gain weight, we need to look at our oxygenation. Without proper oxygenation, again, some of the things you might experience is fatigue or that brain fog or poor digestion or weakened immunity or emotional imbalances, or all of the above. Again, shallow breathing keeps you stuck in that trauma freeze response, and this affects your diaphragm, preventing you from breathing deep. So it goes both ways. Intentional breath work can help you shift into relaxation and healing. So, we need to remember that there are some different types of breath work we can do depending on what state we're in. So, when we're in that relaxation response and we want to stay there, we feel like life's coming towards us and I might start moving towards that stress response and this isn't a time that I really want to be mobilized or reactivated. Maybe like if you're going to sleep, breathing in and out of your nose, allowing your diaphragm to rise with your exhales. That means your belly comes up because your diaphragm comes up. And when you exhale, to move down your diaphragm, that gives your chest more ability to move. Again, this is what I like to call the Instacalm breath when you breathe in and you breathe out. All right. Then, if you are in a stress response, whether it's fight or flight, right, that is when we have more of that diaphragmatic breathing. This is deep breathing, deep belly breathing. We want it slow. We want a full inhale and a full exhale, usually through the mouth when we're in that stress response. This is going to support healing and energy restoration. If we want to move from that stress response into a relaxed response, we can start with that breath work and then move into the Instacalm breath. Now, if we're in a trauma response, that freeze, that collapse, doing something like an extended exhale breathing, what's called the 4-7-8. This is when we inhale for 4, we hold our breath for 7, and we exhale for 8. We want to exhale twice as long as we're breathing in. This is going to signal safety to the nervous system. So this is looks like breathing in for 4, holding, and out. All right. If you are in more of what I call the red zone, this is that overwhelm, that anxiety type feeling. There's a lot of research that has showed box breathing to work real well because it helps us focus and then move to some of those other types of breath. So box breathing looks like breathing in for 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, holding for 4. And we just continue to make that nice box. Some lifestyle practices to improve oxygenation and stress resilience. When you're breathing, just become aware. Notice your breath throughout the day. Not constantly, but just take some breath breaks, right? Am I breathing through my nose or am I breathing through my mouth? Am I using my diaphragm? Is it moving up? Did you know that when it moves up, it's actually massaging your heart, giving your heart a nice little hug, and your heart needs that through the day? And then as your diaphragm goes down, it's actually massaging your gut and it's helping that gut do all the things it needs to do. So we want to make sure that our diaphragm is moving. Practicing deep breaths like the 4-7-8 breath or box breathing is going to help to oxygenate when we've been kind of stuck. Moving our body. Exercise naturally increases oxygen circulation. Getting some fresh air outside, spending some time outdoors, or use air purifying plants or some type of air purifier because we want to make sure that the air that we're breathing is fresh air. And then improving our posture, right? Opening up that chest for better lung expansion. If we're always in this collapse, it's going to be really hard to use our diaphragm, use our lungs, and we're going to get stuck in that freeze response. So just understanding that our breath is one of the most powerful tools that we have. It's free. We can use it to shift out of stress and into healing. And I have a worksheet for you that you can go over to help you in this area. Have a great day. Bye.